Let's chat with Disco George. Let's start off with being happy that the Miami Heat are killing it. They're in the finals. The Marlins are winning. And the Panthers are in the Stanley Cup. I'm telling you, what a week. But I'm telling you, I got even something better than all that. I got Dion C in the house with a new hit. And I'm telling you, she's coming to a place near you to sing. So strap it on because we're getting started. Let's do it. How you doing?
Hi there. I'm doing great.
Welcome to the show. I know you've been to South Miami before. You've been a Miami native, but where is it that you actually started? You know, were you born and the whole thing?
I was born in Manhattan, New York, but I came here when I was like 6, so I'm like a Miamian. I'm like a native Miamian.
You were pretty much raised here, so
yeah.
You got that Miami vibe, the accent. I'm telling you, isn't it funny that people say we have an accent?
I don't hear it.
I don't hear it. The other day I was in New York and they're like, "You're from Miami, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" And you're like, "Oh, I could tell by the accent." And I'm like, "Unbelievable."
You're like, I literally don't have an accent.
Yeah, once you say literally, I think they know that you're from Miami.
That's true.
Things that Miamians say, they say.
Yeah.
So tell me, how did this whole thing start? What was like the thing that sparked you when you were a child to make you want to become a singer?
Well, that song, Memories all alone. I always wanted to sing that song. So I told my mom I wanted some singing lessons. So I got singing lessons from Ricardo Rey, which he was a Christian musician. And I did that for a good 4 years. And because I'm rooted in Christian, like a Christian household and things like that. And then I came across this song that a company wanted me to sing called You and Me, Baby. And I sang the song, and when I was going to perform it, it just didn't pan out. You know, my mom thought I was too young. I was 16 years old. I was supposed to perform in a place called Banana Boat. I don't know if it's here anymore, but...
No, that boat sank a long time ago.
It's like the Titanic. Well, I wasn't allowed to sing it, but I've always had that love for music. So when I started in church, we put together like a band called Shalom, and we did that for a couple years. And, just life happened. I got married, I had children, and I went in that route. And then I did my own thing of doing facials, which is another love that I have. So.
Okay, but let me ask you, let's go back a little bit to the when you started at the church.
Yes.
Obviously, did you only sing? Did you play any instruments?
No instruments, just lead singer, also backup. So we kind of took turns singing. But it was me, my aunt, and she did some singing too. So
you told me also that your aunt was kind of also an inspiration. She was also a singer.
Yes, she was a singer also.
¿Cómo se llama tu tía?
Miriam.
Miriam
Camilo.
Miriam Camilo. Hiciste buen trabajo. So she also sang at the church.
She also sang at the church, and it was just, I guess, me and her, we probably have like the same voice. She has a really high soprano voice and very rich, strong, deep, like she can do lows and highs, very, very pretty voice. So we did that for like a good 4 years. We did the band, and then I became, a housewife.
Well, that which is a great job.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I used to love going to church back in the day. I would enjoy the singing and the whole thing.
Yeah.
And of course, I never got to sing. But later on through life, I went through my Miami phase, like I guess you could call it that. We went to all the clubs, see all our favorite artists and the whole thing. But after a while, I was like, you know what? I need something different, and I started doing karaoke.
Oh.
And people will tell me, you got such a good voice. You should be on the radio. You should do, things like that. But I always loved singing. And the moment that I did karaoke and I got the feedback, from the roar of the crowd.
Yeah. You feed into that.
Yes. It was unbelievable. And that was for me one of the things that sparked I don't have a singing career, but it was like one of the things that I loved. It's one of the reasons I'm actually here now, because I love, being in front, being part of the performance.
Yes.
So I love feeding from the crowd. Do you ever get that?
Yeah, I love to perform. I love to see people having a good time. Everybody, getting kind of a release from everything that's happening. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of stress now in Miami and in the world, really. So for them to be happy and to let that moment go and just think of, the music. And music is very soothing. It could be really healing. So I really like that. It's kind of
it's funny you say that because I'm famous. One of my famous things is I used to be a dancer. So, I danced with the Marlins before the day and back in the clubs. That's how I got my nickname, Disco George.
Disco George.
I would dance disco and salsa, back in the day. When you would dance la salsa, half the people would get off the floor, right?
And because they didn't,
yeah, and they didn't know how to
cool.
dance. So I was like, you know what? I know how to dance it. So I ruled the dance floor.
No
but
fun.
the fun thing was that you would get in a zone. I don't know if this happens to you.
You forgot about everybody around?
It's like you're dancing, you only feel like it's like me and you right here. It's just you and me. We belong together. Doesn't it sound familiar? But definitely, you get in a zone, and that's one of the beauties when you were making the song and you were producing it and the whole thing. Tell me what sparked you to create the song. Let's start there.
I love that disco, Donna Summers, that whole vibe, and how she just has that powerful voice, and it just gets people like running onto the dance floor. Like, even if you don't like any type of music and you're just there to just sit down, have a drink, but that song comes on, you're gonna have to at least even move in your chair. So it's something that gets people moving. I just love all that disco.
So who did you call?
I called Rudy.
Rudy who?
Rudy Gill.
Rudy, you called the Rudy Gill?
I called the Rudy Gill.
Oh my God, is Rudy in the house?
No, I don't think so.
Rudy, come on in.
Come on in.
We need you out here. I'm telling you, how did you meet Rudy?
He was actually a client of mine.
Really?
From my spa. He would, come in he has great skin naturally, but I did help him a little with facials, and he puts on his sunblock and his moisturizer.
So what are you trying to tell me? It's mostly natural that we see?
Sometimes natural, but you can always have a little help.
Okay. Producción, ayuda a Rudy Gill, por favor. Oye, que de tú veniste de la guaguita de León.
Allá, the León Medical Center just dropped me off.
Por eso que llegaste tarde. Esa guaguita de León
just dropped me off. Thank you. I was getting an EKG because I'm already in my 60s.
Oh,
bueno, mientras no sea otra cosa que explote.
How funny.
So tell me, congratulations. I've heard the song. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
How does it feel to produce such a great song? It's got a little of the old school mix into it. Tell us about it.
Well, I met Dionne because she came to my studio to do she called me. She said, hey, can we work on something, like a Christian rock, pop, or whatever song? I like to sing Christian music. I sing in my church. And I said, oh my God, how cool is that? Because I've never doodled in that market. But when I did research it after speaking to her, I said, wow, this is a huge market. There are bands that are making lots of money and traveling, playing Christian music at these festivals and stuff like that in arenas. And I said, this is going to be kind of cool. So I was excited, nervously excited about it. And then we did that. We finished that up, and Dionne needed it what she needed it for. And then after listening to her in that perspective, when she sang this really beautiful song, that's like, wow, amazing. I said to her, can I write something for you, like more poppy, more, today market, because, that's what I like to do. And that's my forte. And she said, yeah, sure. If you don't mind, I like kind of like disco. I like Dua Lipa with the Donna Summers.
Did you do any research? Because I'm sure, I know that you're always listening to
I'm always
Spotify.
All the time. I actually take about an hour or two of a day, and I just go on a playlist. I go on the Apple Pop, I go on Spotify Pop, I listen to different, out of Spotify Chill, Apple Chill, Apple Laid Back. I listen to all these things because when I go, I want to see what's out there. I think everybody, all producers and songwriters should should take the time to listen to what's out there and why is it out there and doing well or not, you know?
Well, you have to be... You
got to be current.
Exactly,
You got to stay current and in the scene. Like Madonna always said, you know, it's all about sign of the times. You got to stay with the sign of the times. So Dionne, I heard Dionne voice. I said, let me put something kind of cool, vintagey, yet today, a little yesterday, because, I mean, I come from the 80s, so, you know, that's always going to be somewhere in my music, a little branch of 80s, even though, you know, I try to keep it cool and current. And we came up with this song, and I had all the music, and then I started singing. I always like to sing myself to create a really cool melody and see where the melody's going to go. And then I showed, you know, I just wrote all the music and just put the chorus together. And I told Dionne, come in here and sing this chorus for me. So when she started saying, don't stop the music because I'm vibing and I'm grooving. Hey, Mr. DJ, stop me up. You know, I say, oh my God, this almost got like a little Madonna in there. Early Madonna, physical attraction. Remember that, George?
Yeah. What did you think when you first heard it?
I liked it. I liked the beat, and it sounded very 80s, but disco.
but very also very present.
Yeah, it sounds very modern, definitely. I mean, I think it expands through the 80s all the way to now. Like, I think the whole demographic would be.
And how did you feel when he guided you? You know, he pretty much made the thing, and you both collabed in it. But tell me about how that felt, the collaboration, because I know there's lots of people out there. They have great voices, and you know, they would love to be doing something like you. You know, I believe actually you're almost privileged. You know, you got with the great Rudy Gill.
Yeah.
You know, he's pretty much put a song for you together. It's a hit already. I know that it's doing great on Spotify. It's got like thousands of views already. Yeah. So how do you feel about the whole process?
I think you have to have chemistry with the person. You have to get along. I think that we have grown up here, and we kind of have like same background, the same Latino family, and I don't know, it's just like you have to mesh well with the person that you're collaborating with. You can't just be like, oh, you know, I don't know, we disagree too much on this, but everything that we were coming up with was just flowing. Like, it has to have like that flow. And if it doesn't have that, it just came together easily. We were like, oh, let's do this, let's do that. Okay, oh, it sounds great. You know.
Did you play the tambourine at least or something in there?
Not for that song.
Not for that song.
Not for that. But when I'm in 80 Degrees West, which is I do backup. I do play the tambourine there.
Which song do you back up in?
Let me see, all of them that we sing in 80 Degrees West. And I do in the chorus of Never Enough. That's another song that we do together.
That's right.
Is it true? I heard somebody told me that he pays you with buttercups. How many buttercups an hour? How many buttercups an hour do you get paid?
You're so sweet on top.
So tell us a little bit the work because you know we hear the songs when they're done, and we really don't know. Yeah, I know you did all the research. How much work really is it nowadays? Because I know you got to do tracks and the whole thing. How many steps is it to create her song?
Every song is kind of different, George, you know. Some things just flow. I always remember the story about Sting with one of his biggest songs ever, which is Every Breath You Take from the Police. And he says he wrote that song in about 33 minutes. And it's got to be one of the biggest songs probably ever, pretty much up there. Probably top 20 songs in the world of charting. And Sting makes like $4,000 a day to this day, because I researched it. I research everything. And on Every Breath You Take. And I always keep that in the back of my head. This song took me about, I don't know, a good week of yes or no, that bass line doesn't groove, this is more, try something else, put the pianos again, then the looping, you know, I like to do my own drum beats, you know, some guys tell me, Rudy, you got to get more elaborate with drum beats. I think sometimes...
More cowbell.
More cowbell. I like more cowbell. Exactly. I kind of try to keep things... you know, simple. I think less is more.
Exactly.
You know, with music, with everything, try to keep melodies catchy, hooky. I've always been, I think that's been the forte of me my whole career with Secret, with the Rudy Gill stuff. I always try to come up with hooky, you know, catchy lines that you're going to keep singing in the car, or catch yourself singing it at work, or, oh my God, that damn song is in my head again, you know, kind of thing. And it just kind of flowed. I think it took me about a good week, and then Dionne came in, and we tried a couple of little things, you know. When Dionne comes to sing, or any other artist comes to sing in my studio, I like to layer. I'm always it's a learning process. I learn something every day. I'm looking at tutorials from plugins, how to establish a good dance vocal, how to establish a good rapper vocal. I'm always looking at clinics from Waves Audio, from Fab Filter, how to use, because now you got to be an engineer. Now you got to be a tech. You also got to be a producer.
Right.
You got to know about melodies. You're also a musician.
And marketing. You got to
be your own marketing guy.
Yeah.
Now you got to be a social media guru. You got to be everything. I grew up, when I was young, George, we were on Polygram Records. We got signed. You get your record deal, and the company does everything. You just got to worry about looking good and singing okay and being on time for the show.
Right.
They would take care of marketing, your video, your this, your record sales, your album covers. Now you do it all. You keep the pie, but you got to work.
All right. Let me ask you, are you guys planning on doing like an actual LP?
Yes. As a matter of fact, DJ Juancho showed me some vinyl. So what I want to do is, I think it'll be really cool to put a nice 45 of Dion C with a Don't Stop the Music on one side, and then, hey, attention all DJs out there. Let me know if you want to do a remix to it, and that would be super cool.
And it'd be cool too if you do in the back like a QR code. True. And it could go directly to Spotify. And then you could not only have the LP, but you could have it on your phone.
Absolutely.
Tell us where they could download the song.
Guys, you can go to 80 Degrees West. What I do is I told Dionne what I worked out with Dionne, and I worked out with just pretty much every artist that works with me. I like to do like an 80 Degrees West, and then I do a feature. In my life right now, I'm 60 now, and I like to pass the baton and help people that are out there that I find to be somewhat talented. Mm-hmm. And it's all about passing the baton now. I don't mind hitting the stage every once in a while when the venue's correct, but I love to sit home, write good music, and watch artists get out there and blossom and then just splurge and have a great time. Like, I'd love for Dionne to have her 10 million downloads, and all of a sudden Dionne's on tour, and I get a royalty check from BMI, every 3 months, and I see that Dionne's doing great because my checks are like $10,000 each, and that's what I like to do. I'm working now with a band called Manic Frequency. I'm working with another singer. Her name is Mia. She's got a super cool song. Then I want to work already on a second song for Dionne because we live in a fast-paced world. Right. I want to do a video for Don't Stop the Music because we live in a visual world. We're very visual right now. You got your TikToks, you got your website, you got your Instagram, you got your Twitter. We live in a fast-paced world. Yeah. And you got to stay up with the times, And I always tell all the artists out there, hey, what do you have? Dionne, what is that? I told her, Dionne, what do you have that the other 10 million don't have? Because there's 10 million people competing against you out there, And I think it's all about good attitude, humbleness, staying cool, staying down to earth. I think that goes a really long way. That's why Taylor Swift is kicking so much butt out there, because she's such a good person. Mm-hmm. And being a good person, Dionne coming from like a very religious background, I know she's got a great heart. She's a beautiful human being. She's super, super cool, very talented. I think I'm still bringing the best out of Dionne slowly.
You're going to have to go sing at my birthday.
I don't even,
Do you do pool parties?
I do pool parties. I'm there like a bear.
She's a very talented girl. She's a sweetheart. And she's got her clientele, she's got her business, she's a successful person, successful woman, girl power kind of thing. And I think that goes a long way right now,
Well, you could tell just talking to her that she's a very humble,
super nice
which
person.
is half of it.
Half of it right there.
Right
That's
there.
half of it.
And you're very pleasant, so.
And that was it. That was it in a nutshell. And I can't wait to do more stuff with Dionne. I think, I'm still getting the best out of her. I don't even think Don't Stop the Music is the best of Dionne. I think we're going to do even better, cooler things.
I don't know if somebody's asked you this already. I was thinking, why don't you guys do like a duet?
That's funny you say that. That's another cool idea too. That's another cool idea. Like I'm thinking of maybe a duet.
Our voices sound good
and
together.
She loves to sing like high notes, so she wants to do that high thing.
Maybe she could do like a rebuttal to Why Did You Run Away?
Something like that. Or
remember like what's this girl name? The Wrecking Ball girl. What's her name?
Oh yeah, the Wrecking Ball.
She did Flowers.
Yes. So you guys should do
Miley
something
Cyrus.
that you could sing Why Did You Run Away? And then you're like, because tú eres un descarado. You never called me,
That is so
What's the
funny.
name of that? You never talk to me. What's the name of the?
That's my next single.
Yes, so you could maybe
That's the next
That's
single.
hilarious.
Do something
That's
like
a
that.
really
That
good
was going to be really
idea.
cool. That's a good one.
and that would be so much fun because you could take your old school and bring it new
Merge
school
it. Of
course.
together.
Bring it back. Give it a new.
and it
give
would
it
be
a-
super cool. Maybe you could get your buddy DJ,
yeah.
DJ,
Juancho.
that you
There's
can
so many buddy
actually
DJs
you
out
can
there.
imagine merging both of them together.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would
That'd
be
be cool.
super cool.
That is-
Or
You
getting
know,
like a
I
really-
want 10% of
Remember
that
that song?
$10,000 check.
Remember that song, George? Remember that song? Because I know you're a disco guy. So I remember that song. You never know how much I love you. You
Yes.
never know how
Oh,
much.
yeah.
Something like that done. I think one of those vintage, great, old school disco songs done again, like with the today technology and the today environment would be super hip. I'm thinking of.
You up for the duet?
I'm up for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a
You
great
never know
idea.
how much.
Maybe I'll sing back. I'll sing back up.
You know those big snare rolls know with the how much, how much, how much, how much, and you go to the
Yeah,
That would be super
I'm
cool.
giving you homework, so ponte a
Ponte la
trabajar.
pila.
Well, last thing I wanted to talk about, I heard your next 80 Degrees West show is going to be in July, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to put something together really cool for like the record, the release, the video release for I Can't Hold On.
Okay.
Which is, I haven't done a release yet. I'm trying to find the spot. I think I have one really hip because I wanted something hip where I got like, the media people, a guy like you from the station. I want people that are like, media, the New Times, the WSVN girls, the NBC See It in the mix. So I want those kind of people there for the video and then the performance. And I want to have Dionne open up the show, and then I introduce her. And later on, we play the show. Dionne does her thing. We watch the video. We pass a little hors d'oeuvres. I'm going to give people cards. So you don't have to say who you are. Tell me what you think. We're going to have some
Definitely.
There you go.
for my Latino friends.
Cuban charcuterie.
Repeat again your Instagram and your Facebook.
My Instagram is 80 Degrees West.
Okay.
And 80 Degrees West on Facebook.
Okay. ¿Y tú, you have an Instagram?
My Instagram is Dion C Artist.
Dion C Artist. Ooh, I like that. And I'm Disco George in the 305 on Instagram if you want to follow me.
Yeah, Disco George.
Well, thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure.
Have you had fun?
I did have a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's all. That's what it's all about. And that smile right there.
There you go.
Everybody,
says it all.
thank you very much. If you enjoyed the show, please hit the like. And if you really like it, share it to your friends. The more the merrier. Thank you for your time. Have a great weekend.